Okay, indeed. Welcome back, and we thank you for your patience if we started from the beginning. But we do believe the road is going to be less rough from now on. In terms of the sound quality, our guest remains Mr. Andrew Mwanta. He's a constitutional lawyer, member of the Edo State Assets Verification Committee, and he's been speaking about some restorative work that the Monday Ekpobolo administration is carrying out. Some of it a carryover from the past administration. He's spoken about the Ambrose Ali University affair, and but the pictures that you were seeing there relate to. It goes right back to I think 2023 again, when what was it now? 11 months after that June 2023 recommendation of the NJC that 8 justices should be sworn in. They had been recommended for swearing in, but only 5 of them. And so now you see those are the 3 extra judges, the 3 judges that were not appointed then. There's Ojo Maureen Osa, there's Okudamiya Godwin Jeff, and Edogoge Eboige, all of their lordships into the Edo State High Court. So what's the story there? Because the part of the commentary that the governor had given was that nobody deserved to be victimized or punitively handled because he didn't have a godfather. So that was a bit curious when I heard all of that. I said, okay, luckily we have you here, so you can tell us, is there any particular reason why after the NJC, National Judicial Council, had recommended 8 justices for appointment, only 5 were done so, and then it's taken all this time, 11 months afterwards, for this Ekpobolo administration to now appoint, to put in, to swear in those 3 justices that we just saw? What's the backstory?
Thank you. I think you did a good job in trying to set the history, but beyond that history, the Edo State government recommended these persons. They did recommend themselves to the National Judicial Council. We had 8 vacancies for appointment as judges of the DC High Court. So normally what you do is you send 1 preferred and somebody that will be like on the reserve.
Okay.
And we had 16 names forwarded by the Edo State Judicial Service Commission, a body appointed by the same governor, the former governor Obaseki. So these names went to the National Judicial Council, and after the screening, they went through many filtration processes. 8 persons were recommended June 2023. Unfortunately, after their recommendation, the governor had made it clear that he was not going to inaugurate these persons, that after their recommendation, certain petitions were written. And I will tell you the reason why Obaseki refused to swear them in if I was in government. He had specific individuals who would have preferred to be recommended by the NJC. When those names did not come out, he now said those other 8 he would not swear them in. I went to court. I challenged Obaseki through a suit before the Federal High Court. I don't want to give too many details because this matter is still sub judice.
Okay.
But because the governor has sworn in these 3 persons out of the original 8, Obaseki swore in 5 on the 10th of May this year. And the question is, why do this thing piecemeal? The judiciary is said to be the last hope of the common man. But Obaseki reduced the Edo State judiciary to people who go cap in hands. Unfortunately, even the 5 is sworn in their vehicles as we speak. These judges have no vehicles, no operational vehicles. Edo State became a pariah state as far as the issue of justice and judiciary under the last administration. So the governor looked at the case of these 3 persons, and there was no legal basis for depriving them the opportunity of sitting on the bench, having been recommended by the National Judicial Council. Remember when this present Chief Justice of Nigeria was being screened by the Senate? Remember Senator Shomole asked that question, and the CJ was, she said, the judiciary is a bit handicapped. It's a situation where the NJC, the body that recommends for appointment, haven't gone through a very long, rigorous process of screening these persons. The governor will just sit back and say, I will not swear them in.
Okay, I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. I beg your pardon, sir. I'm going to come back to you, but I must take a call that has been waiting. I'm going to come back to you, but we do have a call that has been waiting for quite a bit. And indeed, good morning to you. Thank you for holding on. Go ahead now, please, but tell us your name first and where you're calling from. The caller. Good morning.
I'm Luke, calling from Port Harcourt.
Okay. Good morning, Luke, in Port Harcourt. Thank you very much. Please go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead now.
I think the network has been against us these days. I don't know what is wrong.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience.
The point I want to make is that, my brother, the truth of the matter is, when you have less functioning institutions, this will be the problem. The reason of why we, the youth, are crying bitterly when we sit down and we say, shame to these leaders, shame to these our fathers, who have, lay a bad foundation to this length. Shame to all of them. From the military time down to this time, we are saying a big shame to them. Because this is what you have. You have an institution that is less. First of all, let us ask ourselves, why did they judge? What was the reason why they judge not swear in? First, let's start from there. But that is showing because maybe one big man, one big person thinks that, no, it's time of power. That's the problem that we are crying every time. These are the things that makes you and I to see the way that's supposed to be the work of a common man is, full with fear.
All right. All right then.
I rather do my case outside the court that, seeing the court as a place of judgment. So these are the circumstances. Yes. Now, it's just like what is happening in Port Harcourt. It's just like what is happening in Port Harcourt. Where we were well known as Slaughter Market was taken over by one big man somewhere. That's a problem. And when you answer this, when you are trying to answer this question, the police who are supposed to be of your own faith is against you. Go to Slaughter as I'm talking to you and see what is happening here. So, my brother, the question here is that the truth of my concern is that I am thanking God that those churches have been recognized, and I am telling the FCC government in the North State they should not see it as a time of revenge. Let us see how we can make the past be in the past, and see how we can. But let's start something. Let's start the foundation. If possible, let's start it afresh. So let us not see.
All right, then. Well, thank you very much for calling in. Really appreciate your call. So you can continue, Mr. Andrew Mwanta. You were explaining. You heard that caller calling in from Port Harcourt.
I didn't hear the caller very well because of the network quality. But I think just as I was saying, the point is that these individuals, what was their offense? They didn't recommend themselves. They were screened by the State Judicial Service Commission, forwarded to the appointing authority, the National Judicial Council, that recommends them for appointment. They went through a similar screening process. These names were submitted to the governor. For political reasons, just as the governor would tell, they were being discriminated against. You refused to swear them in for 11 months. You now, after much, because we were in court with him, the court compelled him, the court gave an order, right? 3rd of May, we were excited when we heard the governor was swearing these persons, only for him to get into the hall that day. And we got to realize that it was only 5 out of 8. And the idea was to railroad those his choices through the NJC. But because we were in court, it was impossible for them to have done it. Even after they lost the election in September, people appealed to the governor, our friends, that said, come, you are about leaving. Make this a legacy. Because even if you don't do it, the incoming government administration will do it. But he was still recalcitrant. But,
well, I think as I have been reading in the press, the Okpebholo administration intends to take justice, fairness, equity, and rule of law and due process, all those principles. The Okpebholo administration seems to be bent on, upholding all of those. Am I correct? Because when you say so, if you say so, this is a thing that you are going to be held to down the line, because people are going to remember this conversation And from time to time, as you know, things go in a particular kind of way where people feel that they have been hard, justice has been, hard done by. So you are saying, maybe you can tell me a bit more about this whole Ekpobolo policy when it comes to the rule of law, equity, justice, fairness to all, which I'm sure must be your watchword.
Yeah, thank you. The governor has always maintained that he's here to serve Edo people. And one of the ways he seeks to unify the state is to right the wrongs of the past. And as such, there are many communities whose lands were taken over by, some state actors who are no longer in government. And he said he will set up commissions of inquiry to look into all these cases. People's homes were demolished. And just recently, there's a former supporter of Obaseki. His name is Comrade Tony Kabaka, who Obaseki destroyed his house in spite of a court order. That man's property, the court has given an order that the state government should rebuild his hotel. And I assure you that this present administration, being one that respects the rule of law, will obey the order, that particular judgment, both to the letter and to the spirit. And we have other issues, teaching issues, issues of development. The entire state, there's a whole lot of work. The governor has a 5-point agenda. Top on that agenda is the problem of insecurity. So security is one of the issues the governor will take very seriously. He has reorganized the state vigilante network. If you come to Government House Benin City today, we have many vehicles, security vehicles, which we will present maybe this week or they are at its earliest convenience to all security forces. The problem of cultism, as we speak, the anti-cultism law is being reviewed to create stiffer punishments for individuals that want to hide under the fact that they are members of cult groups to create problems for our people.
Okay.
So our president and the present governor of Edo State seeks to do one thing, right the wrongs of the past, and make Edo people to know that you can be a governor and govern well. You can be a governor and do justice. Because where judges who were recommended by the National Judicial Council are kept home for over 1 year, I mean, that is injustice.
Indeed.
It affects the psyche of the judiciary,
indeed.
Being the last hope of the common man.
Well,
and that is what our governor seeks to achieve.
Well,
he's a reformer, he's a transformer, and I know people must sit back, pray for their governor, because he wants to bring back a new Edo, and that's why his mantra is a new Edo is rising.
All right. Well, Gift is on the... No, we lost Gift. So sorry. Gift in Abia State. We lost Gift in Abia State. But we have Mazi Okoroafo. Good morning, Mazi.
Good morning, Sayuri. Good morning again. Sayuri, honestly speaking, what the governor did is the rightful thing that's supposed to be done. Take it. Now, you see, God knows how he does this for his students. Because the coming of the present governor, Akule, is just God's thing to put this in order. It's just like Trump coming back to office in the United States of America to put this in order in the Sahel country, the Sahel zone. That is what, you see, when God does his things, that's why you should wait for God's time. Because these are the things they're supposed to do right from the world when Obaseki was there. Because of other political ambition or because of what is that within his careful or his cabinet to deny the rightful thing that's supposed to be done in the state. That's why I used to tell people that for you to become a good leader, one, you must have what we call vision. The number one that can 10 leadership policy. One, vision. Another one day is what we call that humility. Now tell me. The vision was that these judges are qualified, and even overqualified for the state. Is it not for the boosting of the judicial system in the state? And you deny them. It's not healthy. So it's a lesson to other governors. It's a lesson to other sectors also that when the rightful people are there, give them their job when time is there. Not to deny them because of either the vision or political. It is not healthy. That is why it's all this is a single thing going on there. You go to Rivers, everybody turn the whole upside down. Honestly speaking, I thank the governor for what he has done. Other people to learn elected, even in offices. People are supposed to be in a position because you don't like their people, you don't like the way they do, or maybe the suit they wear or the perfume they rub, you say no, it's not healthy. We have to move this country forward. Thank God for the coming of the present governor of Republica. God bless them. Good morning. Mazu Krafo from our Chipina. Good morning, I guess.
Thank you very much, Mazi Okorafor. And indeed, the responding, on behalf of the three judges, Justice Ojo Maureen Osa had, thanked the governor for, as it were, for the whole matter being brought to a resolution. The point has been made that people have been recommended properly. They have not, for whatever reason, been appointed. But here we are. The Okwebolo administration is on the ground, and it has sorted that out. So, Justice Ojo Maureen Osa was speaking on behalf of Okudamia Godwin Jeff and Edogogo Eboigwe. The lordships will kindly forgive some murdering of the pronunciations of those names, but all's well that ends well. We now have the balance of the three. They have now been appointed. And for now, you have a full complement. And you were making the point earlier, Mr. Mwanta, you were making the point earlier that, look, the administration of law, of justice and all of that, it does require a full complement of the judiciary. And you now have that. You now have that in Edo State. You were saying.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point I was trying to make. And you know what? We also interest our viewers at home. The governor made these judges for the first time on the day of their inauguration. He does not know them. And that's the point. For us to have an independent judiciary, you don't need to like the face of the person who sits over justice, because that's why it's an independent organ of government.
Let me interrupt you again. Sorry to interrupt you again, because a Gift in Abia State has phoned back in. Good morning, Gift.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Hello?
Hello, we can hear you. Please continue. Continue, Gift.
Hello?
Hello, we can hear you, Gift. Can you hear us?
Hello?
We're waiting for you. Say something, Gift. Well, please take it from there, Mr. Mwanta. Please continue.
As I was saying, I said the independence of the judiciary is at the heart of democracy.
That's right.
Because it is only when we have an independent judiciary that we can be sure of the rule of law, due process, and constitutionalism. And I think that those are the hallmarks of this present administration. The governor told me, he said he does not need to know these persons. But as long as the body empowered by the constitution to recommend them have recommended them, and there was nothing before him as a governor to suggest why these persons were being deprived of their place as judges of the Edo State Judiciary. And that was why he did one thing. He related the appointment back to when they were supposed to be sworn in, when their contemporaries were sworn in. And for a judge, that means a lot, the issue of seniority and all of that. Okay. And the allowances, the governor was very specific that all the allowances will be paid to them. Remember, one of them is a lawyer. For that period, because he was recommended as a judge, he could not practice his law. He could not do anything. She could not do anything. So you don't deprive people without compensating them. That was restitution, which the governor did to right the wrongs of the past administration. And we must commend the governor. And those people must be ready to support this administration, because this governor is ready to work with the people. He's ready to give governance in human face.
Let me bring on Elder David, who has called in. Good morning, Elder David in Alimosho.
Thank you, Yori.
Thank you, sir. Please go ahead.
Yori, thank you very much, sir. We thank God.
We thank God. We thank God.
Those states you don't know.
Elder David, can you mute, please mute your television set. Mute your television.
The man they call Obaseki have been defeated. And everything you are hearing from that man. Everything you are hearing from what he said is correct. Obaseki came to become a governor because he was adopted by Shimole, who was a leader. Let me tell you the issue of Edo State. I was in UPN 1979-83 when Abroti was led, the best governor we ever have in Edo State. Then by the time of a PSC SBT, I was there when Oyebu come in. I know that man was empty to him. Obala. They did nothing. And when we tried to use PDP, I was there. I'm a father of PDP in 1998. Yes. And the man that was there was from Edo South. He did nothing. That is Benedo's son. It was why this man came in, they ring the election out, or the man they called somebody came in, and he did very well.
All right.
Obaseki was adopted by Shimon, and he disappointed the Edo people. He has been removed. I've been always saying this platform here.
All right, then.
Forgive him.
Well,
the man they call
indeed.
They call him Mefele. Obaseki is more than a man they call Mefele.
But
by the grace of God,
but Elder, the election is over.
We do better.
Okay. Okay. But the election is over now, and Governor Monday Okpebholo is in office, and we've begun to see the work. And it can only get better, I imagine, would be the aspiration of most people in Edo State. Yeah, if this is any indication to go by, as our guest, Andrew Mwanta, has been saying, you know, Edo State is in for changed times, better times ahead, bearing in mind that the election is over now. And I don't think, I doubt if the governor himself is interested in any blame game. He's looking forward to fix all the things that can be fixed, and probably, you know, much more in terms of, it's not what I say, it's what I do. And he certainly seems to have hit the ground running. We were talking at the beginning about the staff of Ambrose Ali University that have been recalled, and now we're talking about, in very short order, the justices of the Edo State High Court that have also been put into place. Only Lord knows what else is going to be unpacked. Well, all of this came from the campaign to the election where all these pledges were made, and it would seem that you are beginning to, you know, tick off those things that need to be done, that have been done. How much more is in the pipeline?
Yeah, thank you. I think in the area of infrastructural development, the governor actually promised to do massive road infrastructure. First, they changed the name of the Iketo Ministry of Roads and Bridges, because Obaseki named the Ministry of Roads and Bridges, but he didn't build a single bridge. Even it was culverts, they referred to bridges. But this present administration hit the ground running by setting in motion the flag off of the construction of a flyover bridge. There's a major artery to all parts of Nigeria where we have the bypass. The Ramat Park area, we used to have problem of traffic there. There's serious traffic congestion. So the governor has flagged off the building of a flyover, the first ever in Edo State, in that part of Benin. So we are very grateful to him for that, and he has promised that he will do 2 others. And there's a time frame within which this project will be delivered. And there are many more across the 3 senatorial districts. The Benin Road, as senator, he had initiated that project, and I think on several occasions he has gone to supervise the work the contractors are doing. And the center, the city center, we used to have this problem of street trading. He has set in motion, you know, the law enforcement individuals who now clear up traffic. The water fountain, Senator Oshiomhole introduced, Obaseki had, you know, prevented that fountain from working. The governor went there yesterday. So that he wants to beautify Benin City. He wants to give our people reasons to see that there's a new city that will emerge, not only in Benin, in Ekpoma, in Iro, and other senatorial districts. And to also say that the governor promised hitting the ground running. He has members of his cabinet in. Just yesterday, you saw it in the media. He has appointed his special advisor on communication strategy and media projects, a veteran in the field of public affairs, Godswill Inegbe. He was the secretary of the publicity committee during the campaign. So the man is ready to serve Edo people. Well,
we're going to have to leave it there. I think that's a fine place to leave it, that the governor is determined and ready to serve the Edo people. I want to thank you very much, Mr. Andrew Mwanta, constitutional lawyer, member of the Edo State Assets Verification Committee, for speaking with us from Edo State about these developments. And I'm sure from your enthusiasm, we probably will be hearing from you again when there's more to tell of the goodies that are being impacted. Thank you very much. So we're going to have to leave it there. That's our program today. Do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori.